Hey Guitar fam and friends, what is going on? It's Nate here with another episode of the Improv Loop for you. This time we're going to talk about mixing up your major arpeggios that we've been working on and your major pentatonic scale. And this is a good way of kind of getting out of the mentality of just going up and down the arpeggio straight, you know, that we've been working on, and giving it a little more life. Because like we mentioned in the last lesson, the major pentatonic scale, and this is the only part of this we're going to be using, just like we did in the last lesson. It's the arpeggio with some color notes in it, the 6 and the 2. So we're going to add a 2 there on the 5th fret, the high E string, a 6 there on the 5th fret of the B string, and a 2 again there on the 2nd fret of the G string, and back to the root. So we have root, 2nd, 3rd, you can slide up to that if you want, 5th, 6th, root, and 2nd again. So, and I will tell you this right here, here's an extra little bonus tip for you. This 2 right here that we're adding in the major pentatonic can be bent up to the 3, and it sounds really great for this kind of stuff. So think about that too, just bend that up a whole step, and you can double check your bend just by going up to the 7th fret and checking the pitch. That's another note you can throw in there. So, but try to keep it, at least for now, to just this octave of the major pentatonic scale. That way you don't end up going and just playing up and down the scale, right? So you can do some double stops in there. You can do slides, right? Which is really cool. But this may seem a little bit intimidating to you at first, mixing up arpeggios and major pentatonic scales, but it's a good kind of natural next progression, because we started out with just the root notes out of this E shape, and then we added in the 3rds and the 5ths and the arpeggio, right? Now we're adding in the 6 and the 2, and it's really good to be able to say those numbers out loud as you do it. You could put on the jam track that we have for you for this lesson and just go over the numbers. 1, 2, 1, 6, 5, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1. Being able to sing those notes and recall them will allow you to will allow you to go to those notes in your head and transfer them to guitar immediately to play what you hear in your head, which is awesome. But again, like I said, this may feel like, well, where do I start with this? How do I do it? A really easy way to do this is to just go up the arpeggio and then hit that 2 and just come back down the major pentatonic. So up the arpeggio, down the major pentatonic. And do the same exact opposite. Go up the pentatonic and down the arpeggio. So that's a one, you don't have to do it fast, either just up the pentatonic, down the arpeggio, and then do the opposite. Go down the pentatonic and up the arpeggio. And you can just throw that lower 3rd in there if you want to. But this was what it'll sound like with the little jam track we have for the loop. So all I was doing there is just really just messing around, just letting my ear guide me, kind of like we talked about in the reactive playing in the last lesson, and just using the pentatonic when I felt like it, using the arpeggio when I felt like it. I even did the bend there. And you'll probably notice this sounds like the Allman Brothers. That's exactly what I intended, because I know they use kind of major pentatonic-y stuff a lot. So I figured an Allman Brothers tune or something that sounded like an Allman Brothers tune would be a great kind of foundation or palette to work on this type of playing, and it is. And we're only doing the one position right now, but that's fine. If you can, again, I've said this before, if you all know all 5 positions of the cage system up and down the fretboard, but you can't use them, then what good is it? But if you know one, and you can make some really good music with it, then you're doing really well. And you'll be able to do it with the other 4 eventually. So don't worry if you feel like your progress is slow. This is really awesome stuff to get down, knowing that this is a 5, that this is a 2, this is a 6, this is A 1 is really helpful. And like let's say you're going from a 1 to 5 progression or something like that with a major pentatonic. If you're on the 1 chord, you can emphasize the root. If you move to a 5 chord, you can emphasize the 5 over that progression. And back to the 1. And then just go nuts with the pentatonic. It always sounds good. So that's the idea behind this lesson. Use the exercise going up the pentatonic, down the arpeggio, down the pentatonic, up the arpeggio to get a handle on this, and then just cut loose and use some of your reactive playing to start mixing them up over this loop. If you have the time and the desire, go listen to a couple of Allman Brothers tunes like Jessica and stuff like that, and you'll get a really good idea for this type of playing. Also, No Woman, No Cry by Bob Marley. This is a really good example of this type of playing as well. All right, if you have any questions at all, please feel free to let me know. You can either leave a comment below or email us support@guitarfam.com, or better yet, go to guitarfam.com and create your complimentary account. Every Guitar Fam student gets one personal private one-on-one lesson with me that's complimentary. So if you're interested in that, you can book that on the site too. See you guys later.